record. I got to push a bunch of
Okay.
buttons and like talk to
So
myself. So look
organized.
alive. Let's
Okay.
see. I'm gonna talk to myself because I gotta make it stream in the group, and I gotta type the group name in.
Okay.
It's like multiple steps here. It makes me feel like technically challenged. Okay. I'm clicking. No pressure. It says preparing. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll just close it out and go to StreamYard. And I'll just send you a link
Okay.
for. Oh, well, praise the mighty name of Jesus. Okay, I gotta type my bits in. It's so good to
I
see you.
love your face.
Or you're like my concentration face where like I can do this if I
Yeah.
try. My older sister was like, "What type of keyboard do you have that is so noisy?" I'm like, "It's a regular key. It's my fingernails."
Like click, clack, clack.
Yeah, we're like I'm like typing with all this like purpose. Ooh, there we go. Tagging your company too.
Mm.
Thank you for doing the cut and paste with the social post. That really brings me joy when people like post and share. That makes me very happy.
Of course. Thank you for making it so easy.
Yeah, well, been doing this long enough. You're like, just make it easy if you expect people to do something for you. Okay, so I think
Because everybody ain't talented.
here we go. Okay, so it says it's setting up the meeting,
Okay. It
done
says it's
redirecting.
now streaming. Okay.
Okay,
Says
yeah.
it's streaming.
Boom.
I'm
There we go. We did
excited.
it. Okay, so if you are tuning in, if you're tuning in right now, fast forward through the first like 8 minutes. This is us just getting tech sorted. So like, Lakita, go ahead and smile. Give them a little.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, all the things. I was like typing in all cap locks when I wrote the note, and I was like, tone it down. Like, Lakita! Now, like,
Turn up.
like, settle down, Kita. Not everybody's ready for that level of energy. Turn it down, turn it down. Mm. So what kind of week you got going?
It's pretty well. I would like to say it's not busy, but it is. In some ways, that's good because that'll keep me distracted. In other ways, it's a little challenging because I'm trying to manage my energy around the election and all the emotions that go with that. So I would say it's in between. I expect a busy week, which will be good. We'll see how it
It's good. Busy is
goes.
good. All right, yeah, I think we've been having back to back high impact weeks. This is a first week in a while where I don't have a corporate outside corporate facilitation or like some event.
Yeah,
So that's always that frees up a little more bandwidth for me to like
space. Yeah.
save energy, but also like last week I did a lot of planning for like the rest of Q4. We did the plan through the end of Q1 because like just we had to make some tweaks. And so yeah, so like I can actually like work on strategy instead of being in the so that's been fun to kind of pick my head up, look around, like, oh, okay, like y'all still
Make that
here.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's been nice to have a little more wiggle room to do that because like it's been, go, 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 go. Hi, Monica. Hi, Cece.
Hi.
6 minutes
Thanks
and
for
counting.
joining.
Let's Monica and Cece are on my team, and so they're going to be tagging folks to remind them to tune in and chat with us so we can. I have it going on another screen over here because I got like a whole command station. Uh,
Okay.
so like if like, and then Monica will chat me if somebody has a question. and that sort of thing. So,
Okay, sounds
so
good.
yeah, it's very exciting stuff. So I'm really looking over at the screen. I'm really pleased with my eyebrows right now. On a separate
They
note,
look
it has
great.
nothing to do with anything because
Your
it was
whole
like,
everything is amazing.
thank you. But there was a whole like eyebrow transformation during pandemic where it was like, I went full like 1985, 1984 Brooke Shields, like full bushy, let it grow all the way out. And then I was like, this is
It's
not for
me.
me.
It's
It's not,
me.
this is not for me. This is not my ministry. Because like, with my low forehead, the bushy eyebrows is just taking up the hair, the bushy eyebrows taking up too much real estate. And then
It's
like the
me.
ends weren't growing. So it was like this whole thing. So like I feel like the ends of my eyebrows have finally returned. And now we have like the full over from here to here, where it's supposed to be, It's a
They look
separate
fantastic.
a separate note. Thank you. A whole separate note, not relevant to leadership or scaling a company. Just I looked over. I was like, "Hey, girl, I like what's going
but
on there."
still important.
Important.
Still
Like,
vitally
listen, all of this on camera
important.
stuff. I'm one camera, one like you dial the light ring this way, and it's a whole different feel.
Serious. Yeah.
Like I got like the perfect
Seriously.
setting. It's right here. Like it never moves. I get mad if somebody unplugs it. It's like that's perfect, and it reflects things like I needed to. So again, not relevant to scaling a company, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
Well, feeling your best, looking your best is important to
Thank you,
scaling a company.
Lakita. Thank you for co-signing
Let's
on my
reframe
shenanigans.
it.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
No, let's
co-signing on my
reframe.
shenanigans. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because oh, what was I have so much I want to cover, but we have so little time. Oh, all the things. What are y'all doing for the holidays?
We'll be at home. We'll probably play some games. We've been creating all kind of stuff. So we had some major milestones this year. I turned 40. My oldest
Welcome to the
daughter turned
club.
18.
Welcome to the club.
So just like so many milestones. And so after we've been in quarantine, we've just been creating stuff. So we created like a murder mystery game, and then
I
we
love it.
played Among Us at home, like just all kind of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. I think we would get like
Keep the kids
15
busy.
minutes into that before it would turn into like a full on. My mom canceled family Christmas. She was just short of like a press release around it. Cause she's in Savannah. So that's when I'm in and out of Savannah.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
feel like we're not doing big family Christmas. Like, it's not necessary for y'all to all travel in with numbers going up. It's
Travel,
probably
yeah.
not safe. So I'm like, well, what are we gonna do for
Oh,
Christmas? I
so
think
what are
we're
you gonna do?
well. I got a pandemic puppy. His name is
It's
Dante.
so cute,
Yeah, so he's
so
a
cute.
Dante the Shar Pei. So Dante and I will probably have matching pajama sets and stuff because I've already like found them
Oh,
because that's how we
I
roll.
love it.
I think we did a Christmas program last year. And so like we did this
Mm-hmm.
like family interactive thing together where we had a songbook. It was a whole thing. And so we're talking about up leveling that on Zoom and doing an interactive Christmas program on the interwebs. So I haven't been tapped to direct it or executive produce it. So I'm just gonna wait till what do y'all want me to do? What do you want me to do? Because I'll
See
put
how
on
things come
feather
together.
boa and show up. So 1 minute and counting.
So
So if
cute.
you're tuning into the
All
replay,
right.
go ahead and like fast forward through the first 8 minutes. We're just like chatting it up and making sure our technology is working. Hey, Dana. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Positive affirmations, all the things. My favorite affirmation right now is I make money every day. There you go. That's my favorite
Mm.
information. That's my favorite affirmation. Y'all
Yeah.
take that with you. All right. And Dante will probably make a special guest appearance. So so Dana, I will grab
Oh,
Dante when he comes around the corner, like, Mom, why are you talking so loud? Uh, It's 3 o'clock on the dot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Successfully is an elite accountability practice. So that makes me your personal, professional butt kicker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. We took a little bit of a hiatus from our live show to kind of catch our breaths after the 5 Days of Focus challenge. So we're excited to be back with our live show, and we are excited to empower this community. To give you some news and tools you can use. We are just so thrilled to be back, and I am so excited to have our special guest. A little bit about the 5 Days of Focus. This is a community that is dedicated to high-performing type A's who are founders and side hustlers who are looking to scale into that next thing, right? Who are looking to achieve their freedom by building their businesses so that they can escape from corporate. More on that later. Can't give it all to you at one time. That's a teaser. More to come. More to come, everyone. More to come. And so I want to first introduce you to your concierges. So Monica, raise your hand. Monica has the first part of the alphabet. Monica is your concierge. And so I believe she has A through, Monica, if you could chat me and let me know what letters you have. And then Cece has part of the alphabet as well, has the latter half of the alphabet. They're your personal concierges. I will get the exact split of that before the show is over. So if you have questions, if you need additional support, if you want to chat with one of us about strategy, please reach out to your personal concierge and they will make time and space, or they will get you on my calendar. All right. And so our lovely guest is the amazing Lakita Williams, who we are not related, but people can't seem to keep us. And we got stories about that.
Very true.
They're like, what? Okay. So Lakita Williams is the founder and principal strategist of CoCreate Work, which is a future-focused coaching and consulting company that helps leaders build organizations of the future where people are excited to work. Get into it, especially right now. The work has gone topsy-turvy along with the world. And so Lakita is a certified professional coach and trained master's level social worker. She has worked with small businesses, organizations, founders, and CEOs to strategically plan and design company culture, lead change, and enhance team experience. Guess where I stole that from? Right from your webpage. Right from your webpage. Awesome. That's awesome. So Lakita, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And so I want to like kind of paint the picture. So share a little bit of your background before you decided to step out on your own. So what were you doing previous to CoCreate Work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I have to take a couple steps back. I started my career, actually, my first corporate role was in sales. And I kind of started off as a little sales agent and moved up into training and moved up into management there. And then I decided to go and get a master's degree in social work, but the focus was on business. So it was a bit risky. I only mention that because I think that's a theme that comes up for me quite a bit. I'm a bit of a risk taker. And then after pursuing my master's degree in social work, I landed at a major tech company here in Seattle. You might take some guesses about where that is.
2 guesses on who that is. 2, possibly 4 guesses.
And during that time, I helped to build up 2 startup teams within the organization. And most of the work was around talent management and organizational design. So after doing that for about a little bit more, well, close to 4 years, then I launched CoCreate Work, and I've been going in this direction ever since.
Okay. So then tell me, what was that moment that prompted you to start? So was there like, did you come home from work and like, I've had it? Or like, what was it that made you take the leap?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I remember this actually so clearly. Everything doesn't necessarily, most times have like a defining point, but this was a particular situation. So a mentor for me within the company just told me one day, like, I think that the things that you want to do and the impact that you want to make is never going to happen here.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm wondering, yeah, it's never going to happen here. It's not the culture of the company. And that's why I think defining and being really clear about the culture of your company and what you're trying to build is super important about attraction. But I left that conversation and I said, she is absolutely right. And so in that, I made the decision that day that I was going to step away from corporate. And then 7 months later, I left and launched CoCreate Work.
Awesome. So did you ever side hustle, or did you like burn the boats and like jump right out? So how did you kind of approach your
Mm,
transition?
yeah, that's a great question. I actually did start off doing some side hustling, both internally to the company and externally. So started to just try kind of test out those skills. Coaching as a training was new for me at that time. So I started internally coaching some folks, coaching leaders, and then transitioned that to external work. And from there, kind of just left. I will say I didn't have like a long strategic plan, which is probably
It's a
different
good
from
thing.
what you
That's a
teach,
good thing.
Keita.
That's a good thing.
But I just go. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, this is the date and I'm out. And then I will work on it from there. It's funny because I think as I had those conversations and was, preparing to go, people were absolutely shocked that I was making the decision to leave, leader, manager. But I think my need and want to have impact was so great that I just had to do it. And so that caused me to go ahead and move forward.
I'm so proud of you. But like that's the interesting thing. I think that around the idea of entrepreneurship, like there's a school of thought that it's an all or nothing. And I feel that it's a
Mm-hmm.
yes and,
Mm-hmm.
because similar to you, like
Mm-hmm.
it was successfully was a side hustle for 2.5 years, and then we plotted my escape
Mm.
from corporate, and it was very intentional. We had it was for my 40th birthday, I was done with corporate. Right.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so like having a
Yeah.
plan to transition out, I think that you get, and once you know that you're transitioning out, then like I don't want to say you're stealing from work, but like testing internally versus like getting out there and finding that things are falling flat, you're testing while you're getting a paycheck. So I always I think that side hustling and making that transition, like you have to learn how to be an entrepreneur. It's a whole different,
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
I have never been so uncomfortable and excited in my life.
it's it's such an extended period of accelerated personal development.
Oh my goodness. I am
Period. It is
such a
like
better person.
not quite like, yeah, not quite. And you have to be, right? And like you have to learn in order to be successful. And so it is such an accelerated amount of learning and challenges. And typically the thing that you left to do is the thing that you're good at, but then you need to do all these other things. Do we keep it PG here, or is it
Oh no,
cursing
go for it.
allowed?
As
Or
long as you don't use the
oh,
F
okay,
word, because my mama will call me.
okay. I don't want
Not that
I
I
don't
don't
want
want to
Mama
talk to my
Williams to
mama,
call me,
but I'll get the speech about
but
how
not in
if you
that.
could just talk like a lady on your show, that just so go ahead, drop a curse word, just not the F word, y'all.
I love it. Yeah, I love that. But it's this thing about, well, I know how to do this thing really well. I'm going to jump out and I'm going to have to do all this other shit that I know nothing about. Right. And
Yes.
I, have a lot of thoughts about hiring and bringing in people with expertise, but at least initially, you're doing a lot of that stuff yourself. Right. And so you really have to have a growth mindset. And so many times I was failing every single day. And so with that, you only kind of can have growth, or you won't be able to continue, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
you have to be able to manage that in order to continue to go.
I think like when you're starting out, you're the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You are the CEO, the garbage man, the like you're all the things, and
All the things.
like all the things. And I think one of the things that I appreciate so much about my journey is that like my relationship with
Mm,
failure is totally different. Where like I think
mm,
that as
mm-hmm.
a type A to the nth degree, Miss Academic Scholarship at one of the best universities in the country kind of kid, like I was not used to failing. And so like it was
Yeah,
crippling when I would have a setback. It would be weeks of like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Whereas I feel like now I try to fail
absolutely.
at least 3 times a week. Like it's just, there I don't
Yeah,
try to fail, but it comes with the territory. And like even as you
yeah.
you grow, like just when you get your arms around it like this, then you grow a little bit and then you're back to like, okay, I got to figure out some new stuff, where like, you're like, okay, I got
It's
it.
the next
Okay.
step.
Yeah. And then it's the next thing. It's
Yeah.
the next thing. It's the next thing, which I don't think I've ever gotten bored with entrepreneurship. Have you gotten bored at all?
No, absolutely not.
Never been bored. Never sat at my desk
Absolutely not.
like,
It's been
I can't.
difficult. Yeah, it's been difficult. I have had tears, but I have never been bored. And honestly, I've had the opportunity to work on so many big things throughout my career, but I have also never been more excited, right? Because this continuous level of impact that you can have, it's just so close to you and you can see it.
Oh, my favorite, like, I think we talked about this over lunch one, like year one was a lot of crying. Year two was less crying. Year three, you don't even like, I can't remember, like year three plus almost year four. I can't tell you the last time I cried about work or cried about my business,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's the pivoting where you're like, okay, you got to be nimble. Yeah. Okay. That happened. All right. Yes. And what are we going to do? So then tell me, because like we can't act like the world hasn't changed. Um,
Yeah.
it's changed quite a bit. So how did you have to adjust your goals based on, between what the pandemic changing the way that we work, and then civil unrest and all of the things that have happened in 2020? How has that impacted your business?
Yeah. I think so. Initially, I was really, I think like all of us, just really surprised about, particularly around the pandemic. I have seen that it has accelerated changes in business that have needed to happen. Not that I would want something like this for it to happen, but oftentimes when something so major happens, then we accelerate like our step into the future. So one of the things, and my initial thought was, how can I help? Especially since I support so many founders and leaders. How can I help them to have more empathy? How can I help them to support their teams? How can I help them to support themselves? And so I put all of my energy early in spring on really focusing, how can I help? And that meant additional calls. It meant planning and creating completely different benefits and ways of working than what they were doing before. And then to meet my business goals, right, I just extended that offer of help out, right? So how can I connect with you? How can I support you as you go through this change? Not necessarily just as a, not as a technique, but really when we are hurting and need to come together and grow more, right, then an offer to help is a great way to switch things up.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I think we were kind of like in the foxhole together because we were doing like coach training as we were all like, what
Yeah,
is happening
yeah,
in the world right now? And I'm so
yeah.
grateful to have spent that yeah, coaches get coaching, y'all. Coaches get coaching. And I was so
Absolutely.
grateful to be in that training with you, and like iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. I
Yeah,
think that having a community of forward thinking folks really and not only inspired me, but like, I think our first iteration of our, what I like to call our digital transformation, was solely around how can we
hmm
help. Similar to you, it was like
yes,
everybody's got stuff
hmm
going on right now. How do we serve? And then we'll figure out the finance stuff later. And I think that has, we got to test a lot of things. We got to onboard. We got to smooth out the process so that we can scale this way by just showing up to serve.
yeah.
And so, oh, okay. So now tell me this: what's your big vision for Co-Create Work? Because you tell me I'm gonna
Oh,
harass you
yeah.
about it.
Absolutely. So the at least the initial big ass vision for Co-Create Work is to help 10,000 business owners
Okay.
build the culture that they want to have. And so as I started to launch Co-Create Work, it was really intentional to me about working with small and medium-sized businesses so that we can be really intentional about creating a culture of success from the very beginning, and a culture that supports actual human beings. So big ass goal, 10,000 businesses to build inclusive culture, because that's just going to continue. And the folks that work there will then go out and build their own
It's a ripple effect.
inclusive
It's a
culture.
ripple effect. So
Yeah.
then, my next thing is by when, uh, so I can be
Yeah.
on that timeline harassing you.
I always appreciate that.
I'm like, that's nice, but when we doing it?
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I think it's a 10-year goal.
Okay.
And that might sound quick to some folks, but I think as I am growing CoCreate Work and bringing in more practitioners and teaching them to do the work, which is super important. As you are doing what you are doing and growing your business, don't let only yourself be the star, right? So how do I teach the people who work alongside me to be able to support and execute at the same level, so then we can have higher level of impact? So 10 years is the goal.
10 years. All right. So I'm coming for you November 2nd, 2030. Okay, I'm coming for you, just so you know.
It sounds perfect.
It's on. We recorded this. So.
Yes. So it's
out there in the world. It's out there in the world. Okay, this is very exciting. Now that I know what it is. So then how are you kind of, with that big vision of 10,000 small to medium-sized businesses 10 years from now, how are you shrinking that down into like your daily practice?
Yeah. So one of the things that when I think about daily practice, it is, let me take a step back. At CoCreate Work, doing deep work inside your organization is critical. So you are going to find very few, I think, consulting companies that do what we do who go into the level of depth in the work that we do. And so in doing that, then we get to create our own research and our own systems, right, that we're working with, that will then allow us to scale and grow faster. So yes, we have this individual practice, this deep work, but we have some very big takeaways that I think will scale. And so for a daily practice, a big part of that is quiet time to think and to do the work and not just react to client work that I need to get done, right? So the time to build something new as well.
I love it. I love it because, that quiet time.
Yeah. And
like
I'm an introvert, so it's my jam. I have to have it. I wouldn't survive.
Well, like I even think as the extrovert, like I think that when you have a client roster, it's so easy to wake up and it's react, put the fire out, put the fire out, put the fire out, put the fire out, here, answer this, answer that, answer this. And I think that this is something that we're working on with my schedule. There is more than one success bully. And so that, I'm not doing all, like, I will not be doing all the coaching kind of going forward, but like that we time block that. Like there are times where I'm all about communication. And then there are times that it's all about the outbound. Okay, now is my time to be all about the inbound, and like not reacting, but planning my day based on what our objectives are for that day versus react. Oh, wait, I didn't get anything done. I just reacted all day.
Yeah. And it'll show up, and then and what you can find is that similar to what you were doing when you were in corporate, which is, right, we would attend a whole bunch of meetings and then
no work.
We would be working in the evenings and on the weekends to do the actual work. And so you have to think about those structural things as you're growing and scaling your company as well. And how do you make time for yourself to build better systems, which is super important to me and a big part of what we teach at CoCreate Work as well.
I love it. I love it. So then, let's talk a little bit about like team building, because this week our theme within the group is all around communication. Because we have themes, darling. We have themes. And so
we love it.
And say hello to Linda Bookie. Hey, Linda. Just gotta stop right there and shout out to Linda.
Hey,
Dante
Linda
wants to walk with you in Walnut. So that's a separate conversation. But so let's talk about that communication stuff. So as for our emerging leaders, what are some of your tips to improve their communication on their team?
Yeah, so it's really great. So one of the things that I want to do is say with communication, you can never, ever, ever be reactive. So you want to do a lot of intentional planning around communication and plan to over communicate. So any kind of meeting you have or statement you're going to have where you share with your team, one of the things that I talk about, and this might sound a little weird, so just bear with me, is
I'm
to
with it.
create talking points. So create talking points. Don't go into any piece of communication that you need to give, team update that you need to give where you haven't prepped for that. It is so important because you want to think about the words that you're going to say may have a different outcome than you intended if you did not plan. So be really intentional in that way. Also, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I hear from teams is that they have no idea what the vision is. So you want to be keeping that vision top of mind and communicating it on a consistent basis. I would even say thinking about it at your weekly meeting and talking about the future vision at least once a month. Let me see. I think those are good ones
Plan
to
to over
start with.
communicate. I'm just making sure we catch these in the comments. Plan to over communicate.
Yeah.
Have your talking points. As a retired PR person, I show up nowhere without talking points. Okay.
Nowhere. So I just like nowhere. Not
I
even
prepped a
within your
document for
team.
this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then I like the idea of communicating the vision and having that as part of
Yeah.
your team meetings that you're kind of talking about it um, all along. So then how do you kind of approach, like, communication is easy when things are going well. It's so much easier to
Yeah.
communicate when things are going well. But what are some of your hot tips when you have to deliver bad news or things are not going well? What are some of your tips there for our leaders and founders and wonderful women in this group?
Yeah. So one of the things that I want to say is sometimes you need to bring the level of communication down to a one-to-one basis before you take it to the larger group. So think about that as well. Who do you need to talk to individually? One of the biggest pieces of coaching I can give you as a leader is that you need to communicate with people the best way that they understand and the way that they communicate, not the way that you communicate. So you want to learn about them and how they take in and hear information, how they understand information, and really make those adaptations. So how can I communicate folks first with folks on a one-to-one basis? And then I might give an overall kind of update or output. When you have challenging news to share, just be quick about it, I would say. A lot of times folks are waiting too long to say, like, maybe things will turn around. Maybe people don't notice that something isn't working. But if you notice, you're usually 2 weeks behind everybody else.
Right,
They
right.
already know because they're the closest to the word. So you want to be as quick as possible. You want to make it as personal as possible. And then when you go to do kind of that shared group view, you want to make sure you have really clear talking points as well.
I love it. All about the talking points, all about oh yes, we love the communicate one-on-one. I almost think that, like, when in the corporate space, I would talk with the influencers on the group and the team first, then go
Mm-hmm.
out, like, who are the folks that are going to be champions behind whatever we're pivoting to or whatever we're changing. Cause like they influence the rest of the team. So like, okay, like the folks that I have to have this one-on-one with have the influence versus power. Oh, I don't want to say power, but so when do you recommend that, like, when we think about small to medium sized business, a small business is considered
Mm-hmm.
what, to $5 million or whatever it is, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
SBA classifies it as. Uh, so when should a company reach out to you? When should a founder reach out to you? At what point would you recommend them connect, like, with, this is your business, right? And so, like, is
Yeah,
there a
absolutely.
specific earn like revenue that they level that you're targeting, or size um that you want to work with?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things that I will say is that it really isn't when you think about how small, going from a team of 2 to a team of 7 will have significant changes. Mm-hmm. So if you are having a growth spurt in your business like that, then it's time for you to engage in those conversations and get some support. Most businesses aren't going to bring in someone just focused on culture until they're like 50, 70 people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's okay, but you need to engage help much, much quicker than that in order to really define the culture that you want ahead of time. So when you're going through any sort of growth spurt, then you want to get involved, right? And have someone to come and support you. In addition to that, if you are having challenges, particularly one thing that I see is that folks will say, I think I need leadership development. I think I need support in leadership, but I probably should just figure it out alone. And what I will say is coaching is magic, right? And so having someone to walk you through that, to have the conversations with you, to help you highlight and see things that you may not be seeing individually is going to accelerate your growth and development, and it'll be so much less painful. To hear people say, I'm going to give up my business because there are quote unquote no good people out there, or I can't find a team, right, really hurts me, because everyone has absolutely what it takes to be an amazing leader and build an amazing team. And so when you're starting to feel like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can be a leader, that would be another great time to get involved and partner with someone.
Yeah, I think like we've talked about this on the show quite a bit, that coaching is skipping the line. You know, like you can spend all this 100%. Time trying to figure it out on your own. But like the one person you can't coach is yourself, because you cannot read the label from inside the bottle. You can't, I'm going to say it again. You can't read the label from inside the bottle.
You cannot do it. I totally agree.
And so like, I think that's that getting not waiting until it's such a pain point that you're sitting on that rusty nail. Like do something about it until it becomes, before it's so broken that you cannot repair it, so, or it's going to take, a complete overhaul to repair. So yeah, thank you for that plug on coaching. Thank you. Wait, nice way to set that up.
I believe in it.
Well, like that's the one thing. I also think that in coaching, it is a very cyclical thing, that when you are coached, you have more coaching clients. It's just like I feel like when my business really started growing is when I started bringing on coaches that to work with me as a leader, work with me as I have a coach's coach, and then I have a business coach. And so like that's when I started seeing that rapid accelerated growth was when I started skipping the line instead of trying to figure everything out myself. So let's talk about ruling your time. Here in the lovely land of Success Bully, we don't call it time management, because that implies it has a choice. That implies it can call in late. It can call in sick. It can do whatever it wants. We call it ruling your time because it is your non-renewable resource and you have to treat it like a monarch. So how do you protect your time? What are some of your productivity hacks?
Yeah, I would say I am probably one of the most strict people around controlling my time that you will ever meet. So first of all, on Mondays, besides breaking the rules for you, Keita, I never have meetings on Mondays. That is my heads down thinking time. I also have Friday afternoons where I do, again, thinking work. When I start my day in terms of having meetings, it's typically at 10 or later, and I don't take anything past 4. In addition, I turn off, we use Basecamp, which we love, but I turn off notifications for focus and time, because me and notifications is like that little light when you're like getting a cat to chase it. I'm all over the place and haven't gotten anything done 30 minutes later. So I have to completely disengage. And then I make time to get up in the middle of the day, to go outside, to re-energize, to have lunch, which I also think is important. So for me, it's really about you give a smaller amount of time or have that control over your time in order to give yourself more energy. And that then leads to you having better outcomes in terms of what you're trying to do and achieve.
I love it. I also, this year, I've taken more days off.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, actually, like
Mm-hmm.
now,
Good for you.
like,
What's the goal? Tell me, what's the
oh
goal?
no, so I have every Saturday off, so I don't touch anything successfully. We just shifted my schedule, so I'm off on Friday, so I have Friday and Saturday off. So now, like having
Okay.
2 complete days, like if I have to do something on Friday, we try not to like make it meetings or like it's not a heavy lift. It might be like get a deliverable over the line, but I'm done by noon if I have to work on Friday. So Friday, Saturday off,
Mm-hmm.
and then we work like a half day Sunday, and I'm time blocked. Monday we have the show and group coaching. Tuesdays and Thursdays when I see one-on-one clients. Wednesday is business development and office hours. So that's how we're like I bucket like tasks.
Chunking it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that like when I first started, it was like, oh yeah, when do you want to meet? When do you want to meet? When do you want to meet? Like, you come on
Yeah.
now as a one-on-one client. I see clients on Tuesday and Thursday. What time you want? Group
And it's
coaching. Here's the
so much
time.
better.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, I think it's habits like that that teach others good habits in terms of it's not about inflexibility. It actually is having those sorts of standards make everyone more effective. And it also teaches other people to block off their time. And so, my next big challenge for you, Keita Williams, is going to be to set a goal to be able to take 2 months off straight within
Okay.
3 years. Yeah,
I'll
I
get
want
it
to see
done
you
next
do
year.
it
It's
because
fine.
that's when you because that's
Like,
when you know, right? Like we're
mhm,
talking about that team acceleration, and not making only yourself the center of your business, right?
mhm.
As a leader, and bringing on others who can also support the work, and so you'll know you really hit it when you can take 2 months
2 months off and it runs by itself. Or not run,
off.
but you can step away from it. And I think that's already
Yeah,
on like my plan because it is, you know,
love it.
to scale. I can't do it alone, but also there are other
Yeah,
things like I want to do more writing. We have to get the book out in the world. We have
yeah.
other things that I need to not be in the day to day so that I can do the up leveling. Yeah, book deal forthcoming.
I love
So
it. I love it.
any other productivity hacks that you'd love to share?
Let me think.
I love that you
Mm,
challenged me to
I
take
think
2 months off. Y'all hear that? I'm taking 2 months off. Lakita said I
here,
could.
here.
Lakita
That's
said
right.
I could. She gave me permission.
tell your tell your clients not to come get me. The
Y'all call
only other
Lakita.
the only other thing that I do is I really I prep work in advance. So that's another super tool for me. Oh, you know what? Actually, we didn't talk about this. Quarterly planning. Man,
Damn.
I am
About that life.
strict and committed to quarterly planning, and visualizing the business through that lens. And you will see me with my little 4 boxes: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, every single quarter being updated and being consistent with that. Then I achieve so many more outcomes as a result of that. So that's huge for me.
I love it because, that is kind of our methodology of your 90-day way. Shrink it down to those 90-day increments.
Yes,
Because I think like
huge.
looking at the year, what I thought 2020 was going to be.
Listen, listen,
I
absolutely.
I think having like that quarterly attacking things definitely, especially in a year of great transition. And like to be honest, 2021 is not going to be much different.
No, right, exactly. And
It's not going to be
so,
much different.
yeah,
At least
we
we
have
know
to
what to
be thinking.
expect. At least we know what to expect.
Yeah.
And like that is something that we were kind of chatting about the other day was like, you know, the economy's not going to improve very quickly. Um, you know, Going back to the office ain't happening soon. Like kids are still going to be learning
Mm-mm.
remote. Like all of
Yeah.
all of these things are going to go on maybe another 2 years. I don't know. I don't have a prediction there, but the one thing we can change is ourselves. Right? We can't
Absolutely.
control any
Absolutely.
of that other stuff, but you can control your reaction to it, how you're planning around it. If you need coaching so that you can figure out that transformation bridge you need to cross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is my lightning round where I ask you questions about nothing. And so get ready. What one of the things that I love about working with high performers is the idea of that double-edged sword of being brilliant. That when you are
Mm.
brilliant, you never run out of ideas. You tend to overthink things, and you got a PowerPoint for a PowerPoint on the PowerPoint before you like take action. So like, and I know like you and I have kind of chatted about this. So what are some of your tips for like our brilliant folks that are stuck in the analysis paralysis?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that I see show up mostly, and I think there can be a little bit of a difference between founders who are on more on the visionary side, and then there's founders who are a little bit more operational. So, if you're a visionary founder, ideas, 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 right? What I want you to do is take those ideas and the idea that you want to achieve, put it in your quarterly plan and also write it down, right? So kind of test the idea. I had this idea pop up when I was in the shower today. What would it do for the business? How long would it take to implement? Who do I have on my team who can implement it? And what would success be? If you do those four things, right, then you'll say, okay, yeah, I want to move forward with this, or no, this was just another shower idea for now, and then I'll put it to the side. If you are more of an operations type founder, then I want to encourage you to engage with stuff that'll help you dream and think of new ideas. So typically that's something like walking, it's something like reading something completely different or off the grid. So you can like formulate new ideas, maybe learn about something that's completely outside of your industry.
Oh,
Because I
that's
think
awesome.
you want to manage for both.
That's awesome.
Mm,
I like to advise for my creative folks or my visionary folks, world domination notebook. Like put it in
yeah.
there, all the detail you can find. I like your framing questions there. Well, like put it in the world domination notebook, come back to it. Because like that chasing
Yeah.
every white rabbit, if you are not focused on that, and I gotta do it, I do this all the time. Hold on, I gotta lean in. The shortest
Okay.
distance between you and the cash.
And get there and get there.
And then repeat it, repeat it,
Um,
repeat it. You'll be busy, but no revenue.
yeah, exactly. And I think and it's fun, right? Like to visualize something new and create something new in the world. That's why a lot of people are founders, right? You want to have that impact. And so it might not be no, it just might not be right now,
Right
right?
now,
And then
yeah.
how do I find something new and different in my business? Or if you're really like 110%, I want to execute these 5 ideas, then like you said, what's the shortest way to the money? So then you can bring other people in to help you accelerate the 5 ideas you want to
I love it. Okay, so leaders are readers. What are you currently reading?
do. Ooh, so I always do one nonfiction and one fiction book at the same time so I can
Ooh,
give myself time to
ooh,
kind of
Audrey.
imagine, breathe. Yeah.
It's so naughty.
So the nonfiction book that I'm reading right now is Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. And as I am thinking about the future of work and the systems that we're going to build in the future, that means we have to be emergent, we have to be agile. And so I'm loving engaging with that content and reading that. And then my fiction book is The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi.
Okay.
And it is a fiction book based in African. It's about magic and all of that. And it's absolutely fantastic. One of the best
Love it.
books that I've read.
All right. So we're gonna land the plane. So what is
Okay.
what's the golden nugget? What's the gift you want to give this community? What are your final thoughts for our emerging leaders, our female founders, our
Mm.
side hustlers, our women who want more? What is your advice for them?
Okay. So this one is a little hard for me because it's actually going to be a little bit of a system. So I don't quite have like the short word of wisdom, but what I want to talk to you about is as you think about growing your business, as you think about partnering with people on your team, and even if you are a team of one, there are 5 components that I want you to keep in mind. The first one is shared purpose. So making sure that you are cleared on the purpose and the impact, and making sure that your team is crystal clear on the purpose and the impact and how they are making a difference in the lives of your clients. The second one is working agreements. So currently people say values, they say principles, but I want you to write out a list of agreements for your company or for yourself, Keita, if people are just individuals, about how you are going to approach the work and do the work. Systems. So create systems. Don't let things within your business or how you're doing your work go just fly by night. Outline a system for yourself, whether that's something like hiring or how you market to your clients. The next thing is flexibility. Be flexible with yourself. Be flexible with your team. Make sure that folks have autonomy in their work. And the last one is about measurement. So I call that intentional connection. So coming back to the data, understanding how you're being effective as a leader, how you're being effective as a team, how you're being effective with your clients, and have a recurring way to measure for that. So I just want to leave you all with that. And I think when you do those things, then you are going to be much more successful in not only building your business, but building a team that supports the business. And really, we need women like you. We need women building the new future of work and what we want it to look like. Because I think work really impacts how the world goes around. So,
Oh,
yeah, I
absolutely.
think that's
Work
my
is like
closing piece.
80% of your life. So it should be fun and
Yeah.
enjoyable, right? So I really, I'm going to rewatch this and then I'm coming back to you with an acronym.
Okay.
You know, like that was powerful,
I
but it
appreciate
needs
that.
to be an acronym or a system. Get like, oh,
I
like yes,
appreciate that.
I need to visualize it. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a
5
5-letter
components.
word that captures it. I'm coming back to you with that. I'm taking that on because I love
Thank you.
alliterations and acronyms.
Yeah,
So if
absolutely.
you hang out with me enough, you'll see like, well, this is my triple K for this, and this is what you.
You're a brilliant strategist.
So like, I'm just gonna send you an email and wake up in the middle of the night. Got it. I won't send
I
it to you
love
at
it. I'll
midnight. I'll
be
schedule
waiting
it to
for
go out
it.
in the morning. So thank you so much,
Yes, for the
Lakita.
scheduling.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for empowering this community and sharing your wisdom, sharing your light,
Yeah,
sharing your love. I think that and thank you for making space for us to have this conversation. And I appreciate you more than you'll ever
absolutely.
know. So
Oh, you're so
before
gracious.
I let you go, hang on up for a second. I'm gonna land the plane. Hang on the line for a second because we're gonna debrief. And once again, thank you for joining the 5 Days of Focus Live. I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. We are an elite accountability practice, and so that makes us professional butt kickers. If you need support, if you need a little bit of a strategy session, or you need to get in touch with us, reach out to your personal concierge. Monica has the letters. If your first name begins with the letters A through G and O through R, Monica is your personal concierge. And if your CC has the rest of the alphabet, yeah, y'all gotta give it to me in full. Anyway, so A through G and O through R is Monica. Everybody else talk to Cece. We are happy to connect with you. Once again, thank you, Lakita Williams. We will be
It's
back here
my
live
pleasure.
again next Monday. Stay tuned for our next challenge. We've already picked the date of December 17th. It is going to be awesome. I can't even wait. We have so much in store for y'all. Get ready. Bye, Dana. Bye, Linda. And we will talk to you all soon. Let's get after it.